So it's February the 28th, 2020. I'm doing my studying and I am getting targeted from out here and also from 404 on this wall. I'm just going to do it here because in this area it's coming right to my chest. So just going to do a video of myself. That's my cat. So right now I'm actually getting targeted under the table to my thighs and vaginal area. Example of simple propositions. Jasper chewed off some of the window sill. Swiss cheese is awfully tasty. 85% of headache remedies have caffeine in them. then I'm also getting targeted from here, from the screen from my laptop. It's using Spectrum Wi-Fi. Examples of compound propositions. Jasper chewed off some of the windowsill and then bit the computer cord. Either Jasper popped keys off my laptop or he settled down and ate his corn. If Jasper chewed off some of the windowsill, then he's in trouble. Jasper did not eat all of the corn on his plate. Jasper eats his corn and only if it is warm. So 5 types of compound propositions. There's conjunctions, disconjunctions, negations, conditional claims, and bioconditional claims equivalents. No. What did I tell you? The 5 types of compound propositions: conjunctions, disconjunctions, negations, conditional claims, reconditional claims. Conjunction, proposition of the form A and B. Disconjunction, proposition of the form either A or B. 3, 8. Be careful. No, that's my laptop. Come on, get back. Get back. Proposition of the form 9A. Conditional claim proposition of the form if A then B. A is sufficient for B, or B only if A is necessary for B. Biconditional claims equivalents. Propositions of the forms A, if, and only if B. So A is both necessary and sufficient for B. Conjunctions. These are propositions of the form P and Q, where P and Q are each called conjunctions. A conjunction is a proposition that asserts 2 things that are true at the time. This means that the conjunction is true only if both conjunctions are true. Otherwise, it is false. Example of conjunction. The Red Sox won the World Series, and the curse of the Bambino was lifted. Both Jasper and Willie are birds. The game was called off because of the weather, but not all of the players were happy about that. Stacy's drive to Denver was great, although the cost of gas was outrageous. Alternative constructions of conjunctions. A proposition does not have to contain and or be a conjunction. Watch for other words or phrases that function the same as and, such as, but, and, however. When you spy an alternative, replace it with and. That way you will have a uniform way of setting up propositions. Otherwise, it's too easy to make mistakes. Alternative indicators of conjunctions. However, but, also, moreover, additional, along with, although, in addition, as well as, furthermore, plus. We might add that. Disjunctions. These are propositions of the form P or Q, where P and Q are each called disjuncts. A disjunction is a proposition that claims either one or the other, or both. For the disjunction to be true, at least one of the two disjuncts must be true. So my left ear is getting targeted. It might be coming from this laptop or it's coming from behind apartment 404. Or, let me see. Oh, it's coming from the Belkin, the outlet. What do you call it? The surge protector. I'm getting targeted in my laptop from that. These are disjunctions. These are propositions in the form of P or Q, where P and Q are each called a disjunction. A disjunction is a proposition that claims either one or the other or both. For a disjunction to be true, at least one or the two disjuncts must be true. Examples of disjunctions. There is Ellen or someone who looks like her. Either squirrels or burglars are in the attic making noise. No, disjunction in logic are inclusive. This means disjunction is true if either one or both of the two disjuncts are true. You don't need both disjuncts to be true for the disjunction to be true. For example, this is true. Either George Washington was president or Abraham Lincoln was a computer hacker. We only need the first disjunct to be true and make the disjunction true. The either or both makes the claim an exclusive. The contrast with the everyday use of either or, which usually is treated as an exclusive, not allowing both disjuncts to be true at the same time. Negations. These are in the form of not P. A negated proposition has opposite truth value and original statement. A negation is a proposition is true only if the proposition itself is false. Examples of negation. The negation of Galileo is the governor of Ohio. It is not the case that Galileo is the governor of Ohio. Galileo is not the governor of Ohio. The negation of chocolate is not a health food. It is not the cause that chocolate is not a health food. Chocolate is a health food. If the original statement is negative, then the negation of it will be positive. In the second example, the double negation leads to a positive. Please do not loiter, ride bicycles and or skateboards, throw softballs, etc. on this mall, which is for use of McCarthy Plaza tenants and customers. Special construction and negations. Two special forms of negation are the neither nor and not both. Basically, with a neither nor claim, both options are eliminated. With not both, one of the two options is eliminated. So if I say I did not eat both cheesecake and the ice cream sundae, then we know that either I did not eat the cheesecake or I did not eat the ice cream sundae. As you can see, a neither nor construction ends up being a conjunction. Not this or not that. For example, I ate neither squid nor octopus means I didn't eat squid and I didn't eat octopus. We will learn how to handle these later in the chapter, along with other types of negative propositions, conditional claims. Conditional claims are formed if P then Q or Q only if P, where P is called the antecedent and Q is called the consequent. Conditional claims may also be expressed as A is sufficient for B and A is necessary for B. Sufficient conditions are those that, if met, guarantee some effect will occur. That can be expressed in the form of if A then B, or A represents the antecedent condition and B represents the consequent effect. Neither conditions are those that, if not met, guarantee the effect will not occur. This can be expressed in the form B only if A. If not A, then only B. This means that if B occurs, then A has to occur as well. Consequently, if not A, then nor B is a replacement to if B, then A. Sufficient and necessary conditions. A is sufficient for B. If A occurs, B will occur as well. If A, then B. Being hungry is sufficient for Betty Jean to eat a donut. If she is hungry, then Betty Jean will eat a donut. A is necessary for B. If A does not occur, B will not occur either. B only if A. If not A, then not B. If B, then A. Having jelly inside is necessary for the donut to be tasty. If there is no jelly inside, then the donut is not tasty. If the donut is tasty, then there must be jelly inside. Be careful sometimes. The then is omitted, so add it for classification. A conditional claim is true in every case except when the antecedent is true and the consequent is false. For example, this is a false proposition. If cows are animals, true, then elephants are rodents. False. Examples of conditional claims. You feel stuffed if you eat too many tamales. Rewrite as, if you eat too many tamales, then you feel stuffed. Stan will go to Ottawa if he can get plane tickets. Rewrite. If he can get plane tickets, then Stan will go to Ottawa. Being able to climb Mount Hood is sufficient to make Marcella happy. Rewrite. If she is able to climb Mount Hood, then Marcella will be happy. A sufficient condition of Fred's gaining weight is to eat an entire pizza. Rewrite. If he eats an entire pizza, then Fred will gain weight. A necessary condition of Fred keeping his weight off is that he exercise. Rewrite. If he does not exercise, then Fred won't keep his weight off. Or if Fred keeps his weight off, then he is exercising. Alternative constructions of conditional claims. Other forms of conditional claims include P only if Q. Q is necessary for P. A necessary condition of P is Q. P unless Q. And without P, then Q. We will look at the unless and the without forms later in the chapter. The only if construction. Proposition of the form A only if B. Assert that if B does not happen, then A will. That won't happen either. In other words, A only if B can be rewritten. If not B, then not A. Or if A, then B. So A only if B is the same as B is necessary for A. The only if construction. Q is necessary if PP only if Q. If P happens, only if Q does. If not Q, then not P. If you don't have Q, you won't have P. If P, then Q. So if P occurs, so must Q. An example of only if claims, Jasper will go to the cage only if he's forced. If he's not forced, Jasper will not go out to the cage. If Jasper went in his cage, then he was forced. Watering the pear tree is necessary for it to bear fruit. If we don't water the pear tree, then it won't bear. If it bears fruit, then we water the pear tree. Handy hints. Locate the if and the antecedent immediately follows. Consequence is what follows from the antecedent condition. It is located after them. Be careful. The consequent is sometimes expressed before the antecedent. For example, we will dance all night if the band plays until dawn. The consequent is we will dance all night. When this occurs, rewrite the sentence in the form of and if then. Claim and locate a consequent after the then. Handling alternative construction of conditional claims. If P if Q, only if Q, then P, and P only if Q, can all be rewritten in the if then form. The structure of a conditional claim. If that is my pet bird Jasper, then he will come down from the tree. So the antecedent is, that is my pet bird Jasper. Consequent, he will come down from the tree. Locating the antecedent and the consequent. If we have a conditional claim, express it in the if, then form and then you can easily locate the antecedent and the consequent. We can see how to do this in the following proposition. We'd better call 911 if someone is hurt in an accident. Rewrite. If someone is hurt in an accident, then we better call 911. So someone is hurt in the accident is the antecedent. We'd better call 911 is a consequent. Once we have stated it as an if, then claiming reading the antecedent and the consequent becomes much easier. The antecedent then can be found between the if and the then, whereas the consequent follows the then. Equivalence bioconditional propositions. Two propositions are equivalent if they assert the same thing. The resulting proposition is called a bioconditional. P is equivalent to Q is the same as if P then Q and if Q then P. When that occurs, you can say P if and only if Q. Any two equivalent propositions have the same truth value. They are either both true or both false. It is impossible for A to be equivalent to B and then A is true. B is false for vice versa. Note the term equivalent to can be expressed as in, if and only if. Sometimes abbreviated as if statement. Examples of bioconditional claims. That Robert is addicted to caffeine is equivalent to his being psychologically dependent on it. Robert is addicted to caffeine if and only if he is a psychologically dependent on it. If he is psychologically dependent on it, then Robert is addicted to caffeine. And if he is addicted to caffeine, then he is psychologically dependent on it. Maria is getting married, and equivalent to ending her life as a single woman. Maria ends her life as a single woman if and only if she gets married. If Maria marries, then she ends her life as a single woman, and if she ends her life as a single woman, then Maria has gotten married. Categorical propositions. For certain types of analysis, using categorical proposition is helpful. A categorical proposition begins with a quantifier, followed by the subject, a form of the verb to be, then the predicate. Negative propositions that are not all or nothing claims have had a not before the predicate. Expressing claims in the form of categorical propositions enables us to quickly determine the strength of an argument, and we'll see in chapter 5 and 9. The forms of categorical proposition. All P is Q. And then this is called an A claim. No P is Q. This is called an E claim. Some P is Q. This is an I claim. Some P is not Q. This is an O claim. You probably wonder where the place claims like Charlie is a good old boy. And 34% of toddlers prefer hot milk at that time. Propositions containing proper nouns at the subject are considered A or E claims. Relaxing to being positive or negative. Propositions of the form X% of A and B, where X is neither 100 nor 0, is treated as I or O claim relative to being positive or negative. So if you have a statistical claim that is not all or nothing, it will function as part of a claim. Examples of categorical propositions. A claim, all burnt muffins are inedible pastry. E claim, no burnt muffin is a tasty treat. I claim, some burnt muffins are good breakfast food. O claim, some burnt muffins are not substitutes for a coffee cup. Quantity. The quantity of the proposition answers the question, how much? In other words, the quantity refers to how much in the subject line is said to have something predicated on it. The possible answer is universal or particular. Quantity on universal or particular. Universal. All P is Q. All flies are irritating insects. No P is Q. No fly is a spider. Some P is Q. Some vehicles are race cars. Some P is not Q. Some vehicles are not pickups. A and E, universal claim. I and O, particular claims. Quality. The quality of a proposition answers the questions, are you asserting that something is or is not the case? You're either affirming that it is the case, so the quality of the proposition is positive, or denying it, so the quality of the proposition is negative. Quality proposition or negative. Positive, all P is Q, some P is Q, so then all chocolate is delicious. Some delicious treats are donuts. Negative, no P is Q, no donut is a healthy snack. Some P is not Q. Some healthy snacks are not vegetables. A and I, positive, E and U, negative. Examples. All food players are, so right now I'm getting targeted from over there. And earlier you may have heard someone talking, so what happens is you may not be able to see it, but over there is my fire escape. You probably won't be able to see it, but I do get targeted from there. So right now I'm getting targeted. You can see the frequency. So it looks like it's coming up here, so it could be the power line up there. I do get targeted from the Department of Water and power lines. Accidentally knocked over some of my stuff. Now I can't see what's on here. I can't see with the naked eye, but it picks it up from the laptop or my iPad Air or my cell phone. Equivalence bioconditional proposition. Two propositions are equivalent if they assert the same thing. The resulting proposition is called bioconditional. P is equivalent to Q is the same as if P then Q and if P if and if Q then Q. When that occurs, you can say P if and only if Q. Any two equivalent propositions have the same truth value. They are either both true or false. It is impossible for A to be equivalent to B when A and B are false. Note, the term equivalent to can be expected as an if and only if statement. Examples of bioconditional claims. That Robert is addicted to caffeine is equivalent to his being psychologically dependent on it. Robert is addicted to caffeine if and only if he is psychologically dependent on it. If he is psychologically dependent on it, then Robert is addicted to caffeine, and if he is addicted to caffeine, then he is psychologically dependent on it. Maria gets married is equivalent to ending her life as a single one. Maria ends her life as a single woman if and only if she gets married. If Maria gets married, then she ends her life as a single woman, and then she ends her life as a single woman, then Maria has gotten married. Categorical propositions. For certain types of analysis, using categorical propositions is helpful. A categorical proposition begins with a quantifier, all, no, some, X%, followed by its subject, a form of a verb, to be, and then the predicate. Negative propositions that are not all or nothing claims will have a not before and predicate. Some cars are not milk drinkers. Expressing claims is a form of categorical propositions enables us to quickly determine the strength of an argument, as well as seen in chapter 5 and 9. So right now I'm getting targeted to my left side of my head from, I'd say the northeast or east on Santa Monica Boulevard. Could be a vehicle, could be the street lights, it's a variety of things it could be from. It could be as far as the hills in Glendale that you can see. Examples of categorical propositions. A claim, all burnt muffins are inedible pastries. E, claim, no burnt muffin is a tasty treat. I, claim, some burnt muffins are good breakfast food. O, claim, some burnt muffins are not good substitutes for hockey pucks. Quantity. Quantity of a proposition answers the question how much. In other words, a quantity refers to how much of the subject class is said to have something predicated of it. The possible answer is universal and particular. Quantity, universal, or particular. Universal, all P is Q. All flies are irritating insects. No P is Q. No fly is a spider. Particular, some P is Q. Some vehicles are rare cars, are race cars. Some P is not Q. Some vehicles are not pickups. A and E, universal claims. I and O, particular claims. Quality. The quality of a proposition answers the question, are you asserting that something is or is not the case? You're either affirming that it is the case, so the quality of the proposition is positive, or denying it, so the quality of the proposition is negative. Quality, positive or negative. Positive, all P is Q. All chocolate is a delicious treat. Some P is Q. Some delicious treats are donuts. Negative, no P is Q. No donut is a healthy snack. Some P is not Q. Some healthy snacks are not vegetables. A and I, positive claim. E and O, negative claim. Examples. All football players are burly men. Anyone from Texas is a southerner. Southern net. A claims are universal and A claims are positive. These propositions are universal and positive. Fish are never good ingredients to put in the custard pie. No wind instrument has strings. E claims are universal and E claims are negative. And propositions are universal negative. Universal positive propositions. There are many ways to say all or none to indicate we are referring to all the members of the subject class. These include every, 100%, any, if then. Without exception, the entire, whatever, whenever, whoever, whichever, whomever, however. Universal negative propositions. Propositions that are universal negative can take a number of different forms. Replace these with no and treat as E claims. Universal negatives include the following: none, 0%, not any, if and not, all or not at one, not a one is never, not even one, whatever is not, whenever is not, whoever is not, whichever is not every proposition if I say not everyone is over a 6 foot tall. I mean that some men are not over 6 feet tall. I do not mean that no man is over 6 feet tall. Therefore, when we see a not every construction, we need to be careful. Not every is not the same as no is. Not every is equivalent to some are not. For example, not every musician is talented is equivalent to some musicians are not talented people. When we say not every, that which means we don't have all. Some are not included. Remember, keep the not when you go from not every to some are not. It would be correct to say not every in the same as some are. So translate as some are not. Special construction of universal claims. A proposition that has a proper noun as a subject is treated as a universal claim. Examples of universal claims. Sean is an artist who can operate an airbrush. Treat as a universal positive claim, classified as a claim. The Statue of Liberty is not a monument found in Rhode Island. Treated as a universal negative claim, classified as an E claim. Treat as a universal claim. Propositions that point to specific individuals using this and that usually function as universals. They point to the particular subject on the same way a proper noun acts as the indicator. The dog is an awfully strange looking beagle. Treat as a universal positive claim and a claim. That little girl of yours is not a bashful child. Treat as a universal negative claim and E claim. Particular claims, these are propositions that can be expressed in the form of some or not. These include the following. Examples of particular claims. Most are or not. Lots of are or not. Much of are or not. Several are or not. Not all are. Not every are. A few are or not. Many are or not. A bunch of are or not. Almost all are. Almost are or not. Most, more than a few of are. More than a few are not. At least one of are. At least one of are not. Statistical propositions. A special construction of universal and particular claims of the statistical proposition. Given a statistical population, X% of P is Q. The first step is to look at the percentage. All or nothing claims when X equals 0 or 100 are treated as universal propositions. If X is between 0 and 100, then the proposition is a particular claim. Examples of statistical propositions. 100% of spam is unwelcome email, classified as a claim. 0% of text messages are handwritten letters, classified as an e-claim. 39% of librarians are helpful people, classified as an I-claim. 82% of phone calls are not solicitations, classified as an O-claim. Group or individual exercise on team basis. There's more to read. Yes. Symbolizing propositions. To analyze an argument, we need to see a structure. Logicians prefer a symbolic language using variables, letters of the alphabet, and logical connectors. The result is a logical X-ray. It makes the structure explicit and provides a handy shorthand method to sentences and arguments can be examined easily and quickly. So a logical connective and symbol and expression P and Q. Logical connective or P or Q. If then P or PQ. If and only if P equals Q, nor P minus Q. Note that P if and only if Q could be expressed, P is equivalent to Q, and the connective then referred to as equivalent. Translation. When symbolizing a sentence, mark all the logical connectives. Symbolize simple propositions with capital letters, A, B, C, etc. Pick a letter that corresponds with a keyword in the proposition, a question. Otherwise, it's going to be hard to look at the finished translation and double check it for accuracy. So my desk is by my window, so when I'm by my window, I'll always get gang stalkers that will come below and either talk or make noises, or they'll come out to the fourth floor fire escape. I see a YouTube video where me and 415, the girl, are talking, exchanging words on the fire escape, and she doesn't like that I'm basically videotaping from my window. So that's too bad. If you don't like it, tough shit, go somewhere else and spy. But anyways, so that's what I will get. As you can see, the frequencies are still happening. And they are definitely coming from the west. You'll notice how my hand disappeared. So that could be, like I said, from a vehicle beyond the vacant Sears building. It could be coming like from Santa Monica and Western. Steps in translating a proposition. Translate the following proposition. Oh. I'm not sure if these are exercises. Oh. I'm not sure. Steps in translating a proposition. Translate the following proposition. If I run out of gas, then my car will stop. Step 1. Unpack the structure. We do this by examining the hierarchy of the connectives. This proposition structure is straightforward because there is only one connective. The structure is, if I run out of gas, then my car will stop. So this is a conditional claim with the antecedent. I run out of gas, and consequent, my car will stop. Step 2. Assign variables to component propositions. Replace the antecedent I run out of gas and consequent my car will stop with variables A, B, and C. Let the variables stand for the propositions. Assign R, I will run out of gas. S, my car will stop. Be careful. Assign a different variable for one of the following propositions at a time. Never use the same variable for different propositions, or for resulting translations will be incorrect. Pick some obvious like R and S above. Step 3. Place the component proposition with an assigned variable. Rewrite as if R then S. Step 4. Then put symbols in place of all logical connectives. In this case, this goes to the place for the then is located. Translated are the S. Examples of translation. Now let us translate this sentence. If we plant sunflowers and pansies, then either Mario or Debbie will pull out the weeds. So my left ear is getting targeted again, and it's getting burned. So it might be from the Belkin's. It's coming again from the Belkin surge protector. So that's right behind my TV. So I'm getting targeted in the left ear from that. Step 1, unpack the structure. We have, if we plant sunflowers and pansies, then either Mario or Debbie will put out the weeds. Note, the man connective in bold is the if-then. The antecedent is we plant sunflowers and pansies, and the consequent is either Mario or Debbie will pull out the weeds. Because both of the antecedent and the consequent are compound propositions, we have to mark those logical connectives too. Those are underlined above. Step 2. Assign variables to component propositions. Assign S, we plant flowers. Mario will pull out the weeds. P, we plant pansies. D, Debbie will pull out the weeds. We are now ready to substitute the variables into proposition. If we plant flowers, sunflowers and pansies, then either Mario or Debbie will pull out the weeds. Step 3. Place component propositions with the assigned variable. Rewrite as if S and P, then M or D. Step 4. Replace connectives with the symbols. We are almost done, and we have to do is put the symbols for the connectives. Translation, S and P is M and D. Recap. Faced with a compound proposition, locate all logical connectives and look for the superstructure. Once you have the main connectives and sub-connectives, you can assign variables to the individual proposition and complete the translation. Let's do another proposition. If boys and girls enjoy sports, then Yahira will like football or track. If boys and girls enjoy sports, then Yahira will like either football or track. Note the connectives, if, and, then, either, or. The main connective is the if, then, and between the if and the then is the conjunctions. And after the then is this either or construction. This can be set out as follows. If boys enjoy sports and girls enjoy sports, then either Yara will like football or she'll like track. The main connective is the whole, symbolize the proposition. Put the under, the then, put and for the, and the be for the or. Using variables B, G, F, and T, we can write the traditional translation, B and G. If, F, or T. Translation of argument. Let's symbolize an entire argument. The stairs creak only in the house is haunted. CH. If the stairs do not creak, the Amira won't be scared. CS. If Amira isn't scared, she'll chew her fingernails. SF. Either the house is not haunted or Amira is scared. HS. So either the stairs crack or Amira will chew her fingernails. I remember these symbols. And or, if then, if and only then, not. Well, I have a hacker on my iPhone. So these are the frequencies that I'm getting. You can tell these guys don't belong here. They're just seeing a little here. Also keep coming. So anyway, still getting targeted to my face.
my God.